I got diagnosed with my chronic illness just a year ago, so my transition to college looked completely different. And it was lovely. My transition into my first year at school was wonderful because it was all online and I got to ease into college.
Transitioning into K and transitioning into adulthood for me was a relatively positive one. For me, I use a cane, and back home my mom didn't really understand the point of a cane when I first got one. She didn't really understand why I was using one. There's more freedom at K to use my cane. I feel like there's less judgment from students. I do occasionally get looks from other students, but for the most part, I've never really been asked about it.
With my ADHD, I hit college, and that's when you're supposed to be thriving, and I was not thriving. I was having problems with my classes, and I was like, what is wrong with me? This is when I'm supposed to be growing into myself and becoming my own person, and granted I was doing that a little, but it was definitely a little harder because of these new things that I never experienced. I think being outside of my comfort zone was a problem as well. I figured I would just call you anyway. Especially with COVID, going from being at home all the time with my dog and my parents to a really new scenario with problems coming up that I never had to deal with. It was really, really confusing.
One of the hardest parts of having a disability at K is the fact that K moves so quickly all of the time. And I used to be like that, but now I'm not. And I don't want to try to be like that anymore. I can't. It's kind of watching everyone running and not being able to catch up, and knowing that it's not your fault, but you fall behind so easily. I was a very intense student, and now I'm not. I still do well, but I don't care the same way I used to, and I don't think that that's a problem for me, but my learning style now does not fit with what K prides itself on. And that's okay, but it's hard to not feel like you're doing something wrong. I think as humans we are meant to live slowly in many ways, but K does not want us to do that.
My freshman year was definitely harder because I was just getting diagnosed with ADHD. Everyone was going 100 miles an hour, and I was trying to go 100 miles an hour, and I didn't know how.
At K, you're pressured from day one to just be doing as many things as possible, and then still taking care of yourself, but also having time with friends, and it's just so much on your plate all at once the minute you get on campus, and then you're wondering, do I need to be doing more things? Am I sticking out too far from my peers?
I would want people who were not disabled to know that no matter what it looks like, people like me are working so hard all of the time.